It's you know, I mean, it's actually quite a bit autobiographical, but I was a lot of the outer elements were exactly the same. I was a jazz drummer with a very hard teacher, but what I kind of looked back on wondering about was that sort of, especially that relationship between, it's like the person who's the biggest asshole to you is the person whose approval you care about the most, and it's like a weird kind of twisted sort of human psychological phenomenon that I found really fascinating, that you see in everything from education to even more overt forms of bullying and abuse. And so it started as a very kind of personal thing of trying to examine exactly why I became so obsessed about something as specific as jazz drumming because of the influence of a teacher. And then from that, I think the hope was that from that it would become something hopefully a little more even universal about that kind of relationship, whether it's in the music world or whether it's a coach or whether it's a father figure or a boss or what have you. That hopefully it wouldn't just be about jazz per se. That was just the world that I came from. Hopefully it would be about kind of more universal things.
Now, a question that I'm sure a bunch of audience members have is, how much drumming did Miles do on his own? I know that he drummed in college, but is it all him up there? Were there inserts at all? The double?
Yeah, none of it is him. No, it's on screen. What you see on screen is 90% him, I'd say.
Wow.
The audio has been jimmied with, so I'd say there's kind of a mix. There's good chunks of the movie, especially the solo practicing stuff, where it's just unmessed with production audio, which I never expected we'd be able to get with him in terms of what level of drumming he was when we started prep. Mm-hmm. But he got so much better so quickly during rehearsals that we were able to actually do a lot of like live audio on set. When it comes to the truly kind of like the competition pieces or the end, you're seeing him play, you're not hearing him play. But yeah, visually we didn't have to do any kind of. There's a few inserts here and there of hands where it's someone else's, but even shots where we didn't have to have him, a lot of the times we wound up having him. So I'd say about 90 or so % of what you see on screen is the real deal.
Young lady over there.
Back to the film, one question. In all the auditions to be members of the band, were any of them women? There was just one woman that I saw in the beginning and one at the end.
I'll repeat the question.
Where are the women?
Yeah.
Where are the women in the band?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, there's the band itself. JK's kind of. So there's women in the other bands in the group and in the hallways and in some of the other ensembles. But the studio band that JK leads is male only. Which and what was interesting about. I mean, to me, there's something in every. Not to say that I want to kind of condemn the landscape of big band jazz right now, but I did want to try to shine a light on the less politically correct, less savory aspects of that world right now, and to be fair, it's still a very male, but even kind of intentionally sexist, intentionally even at times homophobic or whatever kind of world, and to me, it's like I think we often think of music or art as the opposite of, say, locker room kind of dynamics or military dynamics. We think of those places as where the regressive heathens go, and art is the land of progressive, liberal sort of mindsets. And in many ways that is the case, but when you look at some of these dynamics in schools, especially when they're kind of around a culture of tyranny from like a teacher who decides to kind of milk his students, you find, to me, it's shocking to me, and it was my own experience in band when I was growing up, how similar those dynamics were to military or locker room, and not in a good way at all. So I wanted to, without completely wholesalely condemning that world, I definitely wanted to try to be selective in what I showed and try to really sort of emphasize how similar to a war movie in all the bad ways that that could be. And I think a lot of that has to do with a bunch of insecure young men stuck in a room together with a emasculating conductor.